$150,000. Same budget, 6 Georgia cities, 12 houses. In one city, that money gets you 784 square feet and a prayer. In another, it gets you 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and over 1,700 square feet. Same state, same budget, completely different reality. This video is not a listing tour. This is a market test. I took the same dollar amount and searched it across 6 real Georgia housing markets, from Metro Atlanta to Middle Georgia, to see what that budget actually produces in 2026. The results are not close. And the order matters because the houses get bigger, the deals get sharper, and the gap between the cities gets harder to explain as we go. Before we get into it, at the time this video was created, all of these properties were listed and available. Real estate moves fast. Some may be gone by the time you watch. The framework is what matters. House 1, Mableton, Georgia. We're starting in the Atlanta metro. Mableton, Cobb County, 14 miles from downtown Atlanta. And this is what $150,000 gets you here. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 784 square feet, built in 1960. That is not a lot of house, but here is the context that explains why. The median household income in Mableton is almost $78,000. Crime rates run about 33% below the national average.
You are in a real suburb with real income, real employment access, and a 30-minute commute to the city. The house is small because you are paying for location, not square footage. That is the trade. At 784 square feet, you were looking at a cosmetic refresh, not a gut job. A 1960 ranch this size and reasonable shape might need $10,000 to $20,000 to get rental ready. Comparable rents for a 2-bedroom in this part of Cobb County are running somewhere around $1,100 to $1,300 a month. The math is not exciting, but the location is not going anywhere. House 2, Austell, Georgia, $150,000. Still in the Atlanta metro, Austell, also Cobb County, 17 miles from downtown, and the budget gets you a little more space, 960 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, but the house was built in 1932. That is 94 years old. Median income in Austell is about $73,000. Crime is 7% below national average.
Those are solid numbers for a budget buy. But 1932 construction means you are inspecting everything: electrical, plumbing, foundation, roof. A house this old that has not been comprehensively updated could have $15,000 to $30,000 in systems work hiding behind the walls. 2 houses in the Atlanta metro, both at $150,000. Both 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Neither one over 1,000 square feet. That's the baseline. Now let's see what happens when we leave the metro. House 3, Athens, Georgia. Athens, Clark County, home of the University of Georgia, and the first thing you notice is the price. This one is listed at $159,000, not $150,000. We had to stretch the budget $9,000 to find a single-family home in Athens. That tells you something about this market. The median household income here is about $53,000, but the university drives demand for housing in a way that pushes prices beyond what the income numbers alone would suggest. At 1,220 square feet, this is the first house on the list that actually feels like a house. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, built in 1953. The rehab questions are standard for a mid-century home: HVAC, electrical panel, roof, plumbing. Budget $15,000 to $25,000 depending on condition. The rental angle in Athens is real. Student and faculty demand creates a tenant pool that most small Georgia cities do not have. But the poverty rate here is 26.5%, which is high. Block matters more in Athens than almost anywhere on this list. House 4, Athens, Georgia. Same city, same budget range, completely different product. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 784 square feet, built in 1946. That's the same square footage as the Mableton house, except here you're paying $10,000 more for it, and you're 73 miles from Atlanta instead of 14. Commerce Road is on the outer edge of Athens. This is not the college town core. This may feel more rural corridor than university adjacent. That changes the rental math. A two-bedroom this size on a corridor road is not pulling the tenant profile as a three-bedroom near campus. Before you move on this one, you need to understand whether the street supports the rent you need to make the numbers work. Two Athens houses. One gives you more space and a stronger rental thesis. The other gives you Atlanta metro square footage at a higher price. The university economy is real, but it does not reach every address equally. Athens gave us a college town that could not even produce a house at our budget. We had to stretch. Now we're heading to the coast, and what Savannah does with $150,000 is going to make the first 4 houses on this list look like a different country. House 5, Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, and this is where the video takes a turn. 731 square feet. I want you to sit with that number. That is less square footage than the Mableton house, less than the Austell house, for the exact same price in a city 249 miles from Atlanta. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, built in 1918, over 100 years old. So why is Savannah on this list at all? Because the economy here is not small-town Georgia. The median household income is $57,000. Gulfstream alone employs over 10,000 people in the Savannah area. The Port of Savannah is one of the busiest container ports in the entire country. Then you add SCAD, the healthcare systems, tourism, and the distribution centers. This is a diversified job base that most Georgia cities cannot come close to matching. This house is small and old. The 1918 construction means full systems inspection, no exceptions. Rehab on a house this size could run $15,000 to $30,000, depending on what has been touched and what is not. Comparable rents for a renovated 2-bedroom in Savannah are sitting in the $850 to $1,100 range, depending on location and condition. The insurance picture in coastal Savannah is also something you need to check before you commit, because flood exposure and wind coverage can add real costs that inland markets do not deal with. But the economy behind this address is stronger than most cheap house markets in Georgia. Now watch what happens on the next street over. House 6, Savannah. Same city, same price, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,728 square feet. Let that register. That is more than double the square footage of the Malusis Avenue house we just looked at, for the same money, in the same city. If you needed proof that the city name on the listing means almost nothing compared to the actual street, this is it. This is the single best illustration of why block matters more than city. One Savannah address at $150,000 gets you 731 square feet. Another one gets you 1,728. Same economy, same port, same Gulfstream jobs. The difference is the street, the condition, the age, and the risk profile. This house was built around 1900. That means the rehab is not optional, and it is not small. Foundation, framing, roof, electrical, plumbing, everything gets inspected before you spend $1 on cosmetics. Budget $25,000 to $50,000 or more until the inspection tells you otherwise. Savannah can also change fast street by street on the crime picture, so block-level research is not a suggestion here, it is mandatory. But if the bones are solid and the rehab is controlled, you're looking at a 4-bedroom house in a city with a real job base for an all-in number that could still land under $200,000. Comparable renovated 4-bedrooms in Savannah can push $1,200 to $1,500 a month in rent. At that all-in number, the cash flow math starts to look very real. The question is whether the specific block supports the after-repair value. That is homework you do before you write the check. Savannah just showed you 2 completely different realities at the same price. Now let's move inland to a city with a federal paycheck behind it. House 7, Augusta, Georgia, $150,000. Street, Wooten Road. 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,194 square feet. Augusta, Richmond County, and the employment story here is unlike anything else on this list. Fort Eisenhower, the Army Cyber Center of Excellence, Augusta University, NSA Augusta, Savannah River Site. This city has a federal and military employment base that most Georgia cities cannot touch. These are not seasonal jobs. These are not retail jobs. These are government and defense positions with real stability. Median household income is about $55,500. The economy is anchored by institutions that are not going anywhere. But the crime context is real. Augusta runs about 50% above the national average in total crime. Block-level due diligence is mandatory here. Do not skip that step. This house is a 1955 ranch. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, just under 1,100 square feet. Standard mid-century inspection checklist applies. Roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. Rehab estimate in the $15,000 to $25,000 range if the systems are tired but not catastrophic. Comparable rents for a renovated 3-bed in this part of Augusta are in the $800 to $1,000 range. The rental math works if the rehab stays controlled. At $150,000, you are getting more house per dollar than anything in the Atlanta metro or Athens. That is the Augusta math in one sentence. House 8, Augusta, Georgia. Same city, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, built in 1973, which puts it in better shape on the systems timeline than anything from the 1950s or earlier. A 1973 build means the wiring is more likely to be copper, the plumbing is more likely to be functional, and the HVAC may have been replaced at least once in the last 50 years. Those are real differences when you are estimating the rehab number. At 1,118 square feet with 4 bedrooms, the rooms are small. That is the math on 4 bedrooms in that footprint. But for a rental play near a military base, bedroom count matters more than bedroom size. The tenant profile near Fort Eisenhower wants beds, not open-concept living rooms. A renovated 4-bedroom near a military installation in Augusta can pull $900 to $1,100 a month, and the demand is consistent because the base does not close. The Augusta crime context applies here too. Lumpkin Road in South Augusta can be block-sensitive. Drive it more than once. Do not buy this sight unseen. Augusta gave us 4 bedrooms and a federal payroll. Now we're heading to Columbus, and this next one breaks the format. House 9, Columbus, Georgia. Street, 32nd Street, 2-unit property, built roughly 1932. Columbus, Muscogee County, Fort Moore. And this one is different from everything else on the list. This is not a single-family home. This is 2 units for $150,000. 2 rental doors for the price of 1 house. Columbus median household income is $58,000, the highest of any city on this list outside the Atlanta metro. Fort Moore is the largest employer. Aflac, TSYS, Pratt & Whitney, Piedmont, Columbus State University, 1 out of every 5 jobs in the metro is government-related. The employment base is deep and stable. A 1932 duplex needs everything inspected twice. Old construction plus 2 units means more plumbing, more electrical, more wear, and more risk behind the walls. But the rental math on 2 doors at this entry price in a military city is where the deal changes completely. If both units are separately metered and the roof is solid, you could be looking at combined rent in the $1,400 to $1,800 range from 2 tenants against a single $150,000 purchase price. That's a fundamentally different return profile than any single family on this list. House 10, Columbus, Georgia. Now, here is the single-family version of Columbus at $150,000. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, just over 1,000 square feet, built in 1961. The 2-bathroom count is a feature at this price. Most of the houses we've seen today have 1 bath. Comparable rents for a renovated 3-bed, 2-bath in this part of Columbus are in the $900 to $1,100 a month range. The 1961 build puts it in the same mid-century range as most of the list. Same inspection checklist. Roof, HVAC, electrical panel, plumbing. Estimate $15,000 to $25,000 for a solid rehab. Columbus at this price gives you something no other city on this list does. You can go duplex for cash flow or single family for simplicity. That flexibility is worth something. And the median income backing both options is one of the strongest numbers we've seen today. We're down to the last city, and if you think the houses have been getting bigger, you're right, but Macon is about to do something none of the other cities could do. House 11, Macon, Georgia. Macon, Bibb County. Geico's largest office in the country is here. Atrium Health Navicent, Mercer University. Robins Air Force Base is 20 minutes south. The employment anchors are real.
And at $150,000, you get more house than anywhere else on this list so far. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,275 square feet. Built in 1971, that is 50% more house than the Atlanta Metro gave you at the same price. And you did not have to stretch the budget to get it. The median household income in Macon Bibb is about $51,000. The poverty rate is 24.7%. The citywide crime rate runs 42% above national average. None of those numbers are comfortable, but the listing price relative to what you actually get in terms of square footage, bedroom count, and build era is the best ratio on this list. The median home price in Macon Bibb is around $135,000. That means our $150,000 budget puts us above the city average. You are not scraping the bottom of the market here. You are buying into the middle of it. The 1971 construction is also significant. You were past the era of knob and tube wiring, past the era of cast iron plumbing in most cases. A 1971 ranch in decent condition could need as little as $10,000 to $20,000 in updates to get rental ready. Comparable rents for a renovated 3-bedroom in Macon are running $900 to $1,200 a month. That changes the all-in math in a serious way. House 12, Macon, Georgia, $150,000. And here is the payoff. Built in 1994, that makes this house 32 years old. Every other house on this list was built between 1900 and 1973. This is the only house from the last 3 decades. That single fact changes the entire conversation about systems, rehab, and maintenance. A 1994 build means the electrical is modern, the plumbing is likely PVC or PEX, the roof may have been replaced once and still has life left. The HVAC is a generation newer than anything else we've looked at today. The rehab on a 1994 house in reasonable condition could be mostly cosmetic: paint, flooring, fixtures, landscaping. We are not talking about rewiring or replumbing. We are talking about a refresh. The difference between a $10,000 cosmetic update and a $40,000 systems overhaul is the difference between a deal that works and a deal that buries you. This house starts on the right side of that line. 12 houses, 6 cities, 1 budget. And the difference between what $150,000 buys you in Metro Atlanta versus what it buys you in Macon is not small. It is not subtle. It is a completely different product. In Mableton, you get 784 square feet built in 1960. In Macon, you get a 1994 build with modern systems in 2 full bathrooms. Same money, same state, 200 miles apart. In Savannah, the same budget produces 731 square feet on one block and 1,728 square feet on another. In Columbus, it buys you 2 rental units for the price of 1 house. In Augusta, it puts 4 bedrooms in a federal paycheck behind you. The median home price in Mableton is well above $250,000. $150,000 barely gets you in the door. In Macon, that same number puts you above the market average for the entire city. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between fighting the market and having the market work for you. Drop a comment below. Tell me which city won this. Tell me which house you would actually buy. I read every comment. And if you want to see this same format at another state or at a different price point, tell me. I'll build the next one around whatever you want to see. Subscribe if you're not already. We're doing more of this.